Welcome to the Rock and Wellness Podcast, the show that takes you on a voyage to better health, wellness, and happiness that will rock your world. With me, R.J.O, your host, your coach, and your biggest fan. Welcome to this episode of the Rock and Wellness Podcast. I am your host, R.J.O. As a health and wellness coach, I have been helping people gain better health and stepping into the life they desire for almost 3 decades. One of my biggest passions is helping people make the switch to a healthy plant-based diet, as I've seen so many people transform their health by adding more whole, plant-based foods to their diet. To learn more about this topic, you can check out my books, A Beginner's Guide to Going Meatless and The Magic of Living Nutrition, which are both available on Amazon and my website at rjowellness.com. Both of these books are the perfect guides to help you gain a healthier, more compassionate lifestyle. Now, my other biggest passion, and one that we're going to talk about today, and certainly a passion that I've been focusing and working on since I was 19 years old, is helping people get fit and healthy by moving their body with physical activity and exercise. I have been a personal trainer and clinical exercise physiologist for almost 3 decades now, and I absolutely love helping people reach their health and fitness goals. As I've gotten older, it's even more critical to move and keep the body strong, which is what we are going to discuss today. As a health and wellness coach, I believe that healthy nutrition and exercise are both keys to success. Our bodies are made to move, and it must have the right fuel to run at its peak performance. Unfortunately, in our busy society, in our lives, we have forgotten this important concept. We spend hours sitting at our desks, typing on the computer, watching television, or playing video games and grabbing whatever food we can find to go. These things, of course, all contribute to our decline in health. Exercise is crucial for obtaining good health. Along with proper nutrition, exercise helps maintain the integrity and healthy function of all organs. Regular exercise improves muscle tone and bone mass and supports the health of the heart, lungs, lymph, and digestive systems. Studies now show that a sedentary lifestyle can be worse for your health than cigarette smoking. The word exercise often scares people. Many people think they need to go to a gym and do vigorous activity every single day to see results. This, of course, is not true. There are many ways you can move your body. The key is to find an activity that you enjoy and one that is at the right level of intensity for you, your specific fitness level, and your needs. Of course, before starting any physical exercise program, please consult with a physician to get any preventative risk testing done to ensure your safety. To dig into today's topic, let's start by taking a quick inventory of your current level of daily activity. Do you get at least 30 minutes of cardiovascular activity at least 3 days per week? Or do you prefer to become one with the couch? Or perhaps you are someone who is even addicted to exercise. Now, you might laugh at this and think, how can anyone be addicted to exercise? Although it is beneficial to exercise regularly, some people can develop an unhealthy addiction to exercise. The symptoms of exercise addiction include the need to exercise daily to maintain a basic level of function, expression of minor withdrawal symptoms such as irritability, guilt, or anxiety when unable to exercise for a day or two, the experience of major withdrawal symptoms such as depression, loss of self-esteem, or lack of interest in other activities when unable to exercise for long periods of time. Exercise even against medical advice, denying the pain of a physical injury, perhaps organizing your life around your exercise schedule, placing exercise above everything else, including relationships or your job. Always wanting to be fitter and healthier regardless of your current state. Why do I mention exercise addiction? Well, it can become a problem like any other addiction. However, when exercise is used as a healthy tool for fitness and health, it of course can provide many benefits. There are some interesting thoughts about exercise, and like nutrition facts, it can be confusing to know what is right. Here are just a few myths or things that people think is true about exercise. Number 1, no pain, no gain. You've probably heard that. This is definitely false. If you listen to your body, you will know what level of intensity is appropriate for you. Some people can handle a higher level of intensity, while for others, this may be detrimental to their health in the long term. It's important to train your body an appropriate level for you. Work at an intensity that's challenging but doable, and continue to add more when and if you're ready. And of course, if you do feel pain, especially in the joints, you will want to stop what you're doing. We want to make sure that we're protecting our joints at all times. Now, sometimes the muscles may start to ache and get fatigued, and that's okay, as long as we're not straining. Okay, so don't focus on no pain, no gain. Focus on discomfort, yes, pain, no. Number 2, exercising vigorously burns more fat. Well, this is actually false when you look at how the body uses fuel scientifically. The body burns more glycogen, or stored sugar, also known as carbohydrates, at higher levels of intensity, since glycogen is the body's preferred immediate energy source. Yes, over time, you will also burn fat because you are burning more calories. However, the ratio of fat burning to glycogen burning is higher when doing low intensity activity for longer periods of time. However, you may find you won't burn as many calories. So that is why if you take a look at, let's say, marathon runners, right? They're at a slow, steady pace for 3-4 hours. They look pretty shredded, right? It's because their body is using the fat stores at that point. But you are burning more carbohydrates and glycogen, which is why before vigorous exercise, really important to fuel the body. Number 3, exercise increases appetite. Well, this is false and true. Sedentary people tend to overeat because their appetite control system is not functioning properly. However, regular exercise will put this back into a healthy balance. After exercise, your glycogen stores are depleted. Therefore, it's essential that you eat carbohydrates to replenish these stores and protein to recover and repair tissues after exercise. With regular exercise and eating a healthy, balanced diet, your cravings will reduce and you will have a healthy desire for food. Number 4, more is better. This is definitely not true, okay? Some people can handle more exercise than others, for sure. You may not be one of them. If you're doing high intensity exercise 6-7 days a week, you're not giving your body enough time to rest and recover. High intensity exercise without rest over time can cause inflammation in the body, which means the body won't release fat, because when the body is in inflammation mode, it needs the fat in your body to protect you from that inflammation. So you might find that, let's say you're working out really, really hard and you're going, how come I'm not seeing any results? It could very well be that you're working too hard. To give yourself 2 or 3 days of rest and see how your body responds. So let's move on now to review the types of exercise. Exercise is activity that has been planned according to your health and fitness goals, where physical activity is any activity that gets your body moving, such as walking the dog or going for a leisurely bike ride. There are 4 basic components of exercise. These are cardiovascular or endurance training, resistance or strength training, flexibility, and balance training. Most people tend to focus on one activity or type of exercise and think that they're doing enough. However, each type is different. So it's important to do a variety of all 4 types of exercise to give you the best result. Mixing things up also helps to reduce boredom and risk of injury. The American College of Sports Medicine, or ACSM, has recommended guidelines for optimal cardiovascular wellness, resistance training, flexibility, and balance training. Let's review the different components of exercise individually. So the first component of exercise is cardiovascular training. Cardiovascular training is also known as endurance or aerobic activities that increase your breathing and heart rate. This kind of training keeps your heart, lungs, and circulatory system healthy and improves overall fitness. Building your cardiovascular endurance makes it easier to carry out many of your everyday activities. The recommendations for cardiovascular training, according to the ACSM, include 150 minutes of moderate intensity training per week. This can be accomplished through 30 to 60 minutes of moderate intensity training 5 days a week, or you may choose to do 20 to 30 minutes of vigorous exercise, maybe 2-3 days a week. The more intense the workout, the shorter the workout needs to be. Working within a range of 65 to 90% of your heart rate max is optimal. You can determine your optimal heart rate with this basic equation. So take the number 220 and subtract your age. Multiply that by whatever percentage of heart rate you want to train at. That would be your heart rate. So let's say you want to do a range of, you want to find your heart rate range of 0.65 or 0.9. So that would be 65% or 90%. So for example, let's say you were 37 years old. You did 220 minus 37, which equals 183. Multiply that by 0.65, which equals 119 beats per minute. Now, on the upper end of your range, you would take 220 minus 37, which equals 183. Multiply that by 0.9, and you get 165 beats per minute. Therefore, if you were 37 years of age, your optimal heart rate range would be between 119 and 165 beats per minute. Obviously, on the lower end, you're looking for that's a lower intensity, longer duration style of exercise. And on the higher end, that would be higher intensity, shorter duration of exercise. But please note that this calculation can be out as much as 12 beats per minute. So always rate how you feel while exercising and adjust accordingly. There are many ways to get cardiovascular exercise and improve the health of your heart and lungs, and these include walking, running, swimming, biking, rowing, and playing sports. So many things to get your cardio in. The second component of exercise is resistance or strength training. Resistance training makes your muscles stronger and, in some cases, even bigger. Even small increases in strength can make a big difference in your ability to stay independent and carry out everyday activities such as climbing stairs and carrying groceries. Resistance training is specifically important for ladies because as we age, osteoporosis sometimes can set in, so resistance training helps keep our bones strong. The recommendations for resistance training, according to the American College of Sports Medicine, include training each major muscle group 2 to 3 days per week, doing 2 to 4 sets of each exercise, and manipulate your training based on your goals. So to achieve general muscular fitness, working in an 8 to 15 repetition range is ideal, doing 1, 2, maybe 3 sets of that. This type of training is perfect for you if you're just starting to exercise or have a chronic condition. This would be light resistance with a focus on form. Muscular endurance training can consist of less than 12 repetitions per set, doing anywhere between 1 and 3 sets. This type of training is ideal for someone who is seeking weight loss and long, lean muscles. Muscular hypertrophy training is where the muscles get bigger, and you would work at a 6 to 12 repetition range per set, probably doing anywhere between 2 and 4 sets. This type of training is ideal for someone who wants to build more lean, bulky muscle mass. Muscular strength training is usually less than 6 repetitions per set and sometimes upwards of 5-6 sets. This type of training is for someone who wants to build strength without developing bulky muscles. With muscular training, it's important to give each muscle group 48 hours of rest between workouts to help repair the tissues. Remember to choose a program that is conducive to your goals and your level of ability. If you are unsure of what kind of program is best for you, please consult with your physician. And to be sure that you are performing all exercise correctly and to reach your best results, consult with a certified and experienced exercise specialist or personal trainer. Now, you can use all sorts of different tools to help you build muscular and bone strength, and this includes things like resistance bands. Resistance bands are a great tool to have at home. They're cheap. They're not bulky, they take up no space, and they're easy to use. You can do a full body workout with resistance bands. You could also use free weights, weight machines, things like kettlebells, medicine balls, and so much more. Really, you can grab soup cans out of the cupboard if you want to and use that. Maybe a suitcase for different things. Body weight even you can use. The third component of exercise is flexibility training. Flexibility or stretch training helps to release tight muscles and can help your body stay limber, improve posture, enhance range of motion and strength, reduce stress, and relax the mind. Being flexible gives you more freedom of movement for other exercises as well as for your everyday activities. The recommendations for flexibility training, according to the ACSM, include that it's important to work on flexibility 2 to 3 days per week or after every exercise session. You want to position your body until you feel the point of a light stretch or a mild discomfort and hold for about 10 to 30 seconds. Repeat 2 to 4 times. It is always best and most safe to stretch the muscles when the body is warm. It is very easy to stretch at your desk or on the floor, standing or sitting in a chair, as well as activities like restorative yin or hatha yoga. So if you're interested in checking out one of my online classes, please visit rjowellness.com. The fourth component of fitness is balance training. Balance training helps prevent falls, which is a really common problem in older adults, unfortunately. Many lower body strength exercises will also help improve your balance. But the recommendations for flexibility training, according to the ACSM, include that we do balance-specific exercises every day, but the time can vary. Balance exercises can be static, such as a stand and hold. Maybe you're doing your dishes and just standing on one leg. Or it can be dynamic, which includes kind of some movement through the range of motion around the joints, causing you to be imbalanced and work on your balance. The American Council on Exercise, also known as ACE, has developed what they call an integrated fitness training or IFT model that suggests every person should follow a progression that first establishes proper posture and function, then improves health, then fitness, and finally enhances performance. There are 4 phases for functional movement and resistance training, and 4 phases for cardiovascular training. You will want to start at a point in the IFT model that is most appropriate for you, based on your current fitness level and goals. Unfortunately, I see too many people who don't follow this progression and can get hurt when they don't. So let's go through each phase. The first phase for functional and resistance training is called stability and mobility. The purpose of this phase is to get you started in an exercise program to improve muscular endurance and strength, core function, balance, and flexibility. Before starting into this phase, or really any phase, it's best to have a personal trainer perform a thorough assessment on you to find your personal alignment needs. But this phase is for you if you have any postural deviations. Let's say, for example, any curvature in the spine, any pelvic imbalances, or maybe rounded shoulders. If you have poor core function or weak core muscles, if you have poor balance, if you have reduced muscular endurance and strength, if you have reduced flexibility and range of motion around a joint, or if you have not done any or have done very little resistance training over the past 6 months. The second phase is movement training, and the purpose of this phase is to get you to master what's called the 5 basic movement patterns. These are, number 1, bend and lift movements such as squats and deadlifts. Number 2, single leg movements such as lunges and step-ups. Number 3, pushing movements such as push-ups and overhead press. Number 4, pulling movements such as pull-ups and pull-downs. And finally, number 5, rotational movements such as core twists. If you'll notice, each and every one of those 5 basic movement patterns we do on a daily basis. So this phase is for you if you have corrected any postural deviations or perhaps you don't have any. You can engage the muscles of the core and have a strong enough core to move through the basic patterns with proper posture. And you can move through the basic movement patterns and still keep your balance. The third phase for functional and resistance training is load training, and the purpose of this phase is to get you started with external resistance. You are ready for this phase if you can move through the basic movement patterns without external load in excellent form. You want to train for muscular endurance, muscular strength, or muscle building. You have experience developing a resistance training program, or you have a trainer who can develop an individualized program for you. The fourth and final phase for functional and resistance training is performance training, and the purpose is to get you ready for a specific event or sports competition. This type of training will focus on improving speed, agility, quickness, reactivity, and power. This phase is for you if you are an athlete who has performance-oriented goals. If you have many years of experience with exercise and training methods, including plyometric jump training and maybe working with medicine ball throws, kettlebell lifts, and maybe traditional Olympic style lifts. And of course, this is a really important phase to work with a personal trainer. Now let's move on now to the 4 phases of cardiovascular training. Phase 1 is called aerobic base training. The purpose of this phase is to develop a baseline level of cardiovascular fitness and improve health, endurance, energy, mood, and increase caloric expenditure. This phase is for you if you are sedentary or near sedentary, which means you have done less than 3 times per week of moderate activity for the last 6 months. The goal for this phase is to start at 5 minutes and progress up to 20 to 30 minutes of continuous moderate activity at least 3 times per week. Phase 2 is called aerobic efficiency training. The purpose of this phase is to enhance aerobic efficiency through the introduction of interval training. This phase is for you if you have been doing cardiovascular exercise at least 3 times per week for a minimum of 30 minutes per day for at least 6 months. Or you simply want to achieve and maintain general health. The goal for this phase is to be able to perform 20 to 30 minutes of moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise 3 to 5 days per week. Phase 3 is called anaerobic endurance training. The purpose of this phase is to improve performance for endurance events or to enhance cardiovascular fitness for enthusiasts. This phase is for you if you are an avid exerciser and want to enhance your cardiovascular fitness or performance. The goal for this phase is to perform 20 minutes to multiple hours of moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise 3 to 7 days per week. In this phase, it is very important to have adequate rest after high intensity training sessions to recover and repair the body. Phase 4 is anaerobic power training. The purpose of this phase is to develop peak power and aerobic capacity with intervals performed at high intensity. This phase is for you if you are training for competition and have specific goals related to short duration, high intensity efforts during longer endurance events. The goal for this phase is to add high intensity intervals followed by longer rest periods to your training. Now you might be thinking, okay, where do I start? Okay, so this is a lot of information. I get it. Okay, so this is really just meant to give you an introduction to exercise, introduction to the different phases of exercise, and get you to start thinking about where you may be in your fitness journey. Exercise doesn't need to be a chore. Exercise can be fun, it can be exciting, and in my opinion, it should be something that you love. I know that anytime I do exercise, yes, it can be hard, but I really work hard to find something that I love, and that is my wish for you as well. Find some sort of physical activity or exercise that you love. And if you don't necessarily love exercise, find a community of people who make it fun. Sometimes I don't feel like going for a workout, but I know all my friends are there. I know that my workout buddies are there, and I want to go. It's a social hour. So round up a couple of friends, join a gym together or start a biking club or start doing something that you absolutely love, and you will notice that you will become, I suppose, addicted to it in a healthy way, right? You'll be wanting to do your workouts. Well, there you have it, everybody. A little introduction to the difference between physical activity and exercise, the many benefits and the different components of exercise required to achieve the best results. Remember, I'm here to help you reach your goals, so I invite you to reach out, set up a call, and let's get you moving. So until next time, my friends, get your body moving and keep rocking your wellness. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the Rockin' Wellness Podcast. Make sure to visit my website at www.rjowellness.com, where you can subscribe to the show and check out all the show notes. While you're at it, if you found value in this podcast, if you'd simply tell a friend about it, that would help out too. You may choose to join the R.J.O Wellness community to take advantage of the freebies, courses, and coaching that will take your voyage to the next level, or support this podcast with your monthly membership. Until next time, my friends, keep rocking your wellness.